Hi, I'm honored to introduce my next guest. It's the dynamic Lanny Wijaya. She's a senior enterprise account executive at LinkedIn in Singapore. She empowers organizations to enhance their talent strategies using LinkedIn talent solutions. Lanny has more than 16 years of sales experience overall and specializes in the Indonesian market. Lanny's passion for education and empowerment motivates her to mentor and coach young professionals to help them reach their fullest potential. And she also affects social impact in broader communities. On her LinkedIn posts, Lanny talks about job seeker tips, talent strategy, learning culture, and employee experience. I'm so happy to speak with you today, Lanny. Welcome.
Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you for having me.
I was so drawn to your dynamic LinkedIn profile. And so I'm excited to ask you, tell us more about the work you do at LinkedIn.
Yeah, happy to answer those questions. So, definitely, I started at LinkedIn in 2014. And believe it or not, LinkedIn is actually my sixth company. So, I've been a job hopper before, and I would say, I found my dream job at LinkedIn. So, a little bit of the background, if I could share the story. Why LinkedIn? So I used to be a recruiter before, and moving to LinkedIn, which is a completely different uh, industry, is actually something that a new thing for me throughout my career journey. So at LinkedIn, I focus on helping my clients, especially in Indonesia, to leverage the LinkedIn talent solutions to help them hire, attract, develop, and retain their best talent.
Oh,
So yeah, that's the high level.
wow, that's great. And how did you get involved in or how did you know you had a talent for sales? Is that something you want to answer through the milestones question? So,
Yeah.
what are the two or three major milestones in your life?
Yeah, that's very in time. So I wouldn't say major, but actually they shaped me as a professionals. So there are a few milestones. One is when I decided to be a recruiter, as I'm very passionate about recruitment back then. Then the second one is when I started my role, like I mentioned earlier. So that is the very, very different. And the third one is when I become the top sales in Asia at my role in LinkedIn. So if you take a look at the journey from recruiters to sales, it's actually the skills that I gain is a sales skills, right? So that's how I started in sales. Yeah. So maybe I could also share about a little bit more about my career path, right? So yeah, so of course I graduated as a IT graduate, believe me or not. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so maybe you may want to ask like, wow, from IT to sales, right? So it's a little bit like the aha moment. So when I graduated and then I moved to Singapore in 2007. So I graduated in Australia. So I started to apply for a job in IT, right? Like a Java developer, IT analyst, and little did I know about day-to-day job as a developer or an IT analyst. So when I started interviewing, thankfully the interviewer explained, what's the role about. And then I decided then like, okay, this is not me. Yeah, so being in the IT environment or developers is not me. So, but I'm already in Singapore, so the only way is to find another job. So that's why I stumbled upon a role like a sales team, but as an admin support. So at supporting the sales team. Yeah, so I hate that job actually. So that was my first job, and then I hated the job, so I stumbled another role, which is a recruiter, and I just found out that the recruiter back then is all about sales. Yeah, so we have a target to achieve, and if we achieve that target, we get the commissions that we deserve. So those days were the journey of knowing sales, how to be a sales professionals, right? So that is the beginning of the journey of my career into sales.
That's amazing. And I mean, everyone can relate to hating your job or hating one aspect of your job. And you're so lucky because you stumbled into the right role. So, can I ask, what advice would you tell your younger self? Like, what advice would you have wished you had heard at that time when you were faced at a crossroads?
Yeah, I think before like the internet booming, obviously like 16 years ago, we still starting to have the internet. So we don't have a lot of access to mentors or coaches. So I think for the younger self, I would advise to speak to as many professional as possible, but definitely um, take it as a perceptions rather than you have to follow what each of them are saying,
Oh,
right?
that's so important.
Yeah. Yeah, so you have to able to have this like the bigger visions, I would say, and understanding what is it that you really like and dislike, and try everything.
Excellent, excellent tips, especially the try everything and not to copycat what another person has done in their career because we have our own unique stamp and personality and our journeys are just so different, right? Each one is so different.
Exactly.
I love that. And actually, I wish someone had told me that when I was younger. So what would you say is the secret to success, Lanny? And to your success and to success in general, if you want to answer or whatever you want to say to that. Like, what is
Yeah.
the most important quality that one needs? Like, I think it was Jack Welch who said that one of the most important qualities is to keep on going, right? To never give up.
Yes,
What
100%.
what what would you say is the most important quality to success?
Yeah, I mean, like that's a really big question because I felt that success means different thing for everyone. So I think first of all, have to define what success means to you as an individual. Yeah, because in this busy world, we always compare ourselves to other people, which is can be toxic to our health, mental health, and physical health. So that's should be the foundation if you want to define success. But yeah, 100% agree with you and Jack Wells, is to keep moving. But I felt that the most important thing is to know yourself, like being humble and understanding that we don't know everything because we don't know what we don't know, right? I think that's a very important principle. And from there, you will have the curiosity to know more, right? Because I don't know this, I want to know, I want to learn, right? So the always be learning mindset instill in our brains. So I think I actually read this book by Stephen Guys. So he wrote about habits, right? So he was saying about how our brain loves efficiency. So that's why we have habits. And when you repeat on activities over time, your brain learns to automate it. right? The process. So if you want to do something and you want to be better at it, then you need to uh, repeat it, right? Instill it in your habits, then you'll get successful
Oh, yeah.
at the time. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And yeah, to have that growth, that learning, lifelong mindset, right? We're lifelong learners. We have to
Yes.
be now with technology that is changing the way we work. We need to continually skill up and to remain humble, right? Yeah, I love that. Not many people will say humility, but it is one of the most important qualities, isn't it? Yeah. Wow. Um, yeah, you are a very masterful connector. And so give us some advice on how can you build more meaningful connections at work, Lanny?
Right, at work. Okay. So I think work has a culture. Every company has a culture, right? And you have yourself as an individual. You do have values and principles. So, um, first of all, I always say to my mentees or uh, students that I coach to align your values with the company's core values and culture. So from then you'll be able to add value and feeling um, belongs to that company, right? Ultimately, if we are working, that means in a company, that means we are working towards a common goals, right? So I think to that question is how to create meaningful, right? First of all, you have a goal, create your goal, what do you want to achieve, and understand that every individual has also other people have also goals,
Mm.
right? Yeah, so aligning their goals with your goals will create an interesting um, cohesive environment, right? So again, coming back to the humility that I mentioned, because every individual will have their own strength. So we need to be humble, or we need to appreciate, right, their strength and express your voice. That if you are in a disagreement, express your voice why, that you understand where they're coming from, and then sharing your perception. I think that's also important because they don't know what you know unless you tell them, right? But I think the bottom line is be authentic, right? Be passionate and be real, show that you really care.
And all those qualities you can't really cultivate until you know yourself, as you
Yeah,
mentioned earlier, right? So,
correct.
what steps can each of us take to know ourselves better, Lanny?
Yeah, difficult question.
You can do it.
Yeah, well, my experience is I read a lot of books, yeah, especially for self-improvement books. And I try to attend a lot of courses as well, seminars, workshops, or online courses, just to understand how how to understand ourselves,
Mm,
right? So like wellness classes is quite good in terms of
yes.
identifying our inner voice. That is really, really impactful for me.
That's so good. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone has inner voices in our head, and most of it are not true.
Mm. Oh, that's good. Yeah, no, the gut feeling, like the intuition, gut feeling. Like I've made a lot of decisions based on my gut, that intuition.
Yeah, gut feeling is another thing. Yeah, so understanding like the awareness of your emotion, right? So that's very, very powerful as well, because we as a human being is we clouded by emotions, right? When we're angry, when we're sad. And the first step is to understand why we're angry, why we are
Oh,
sad.
that's right.
Yeah, so those are the awareness piece. So I love the book by Simon Sinek, obviously the most popular one. Right, start with why.
Love his books. I love his posts.
Yeah. So yeah, that could be a starting point to understand why you acting that way and why you feeling this way, why you felt insecure, right? So those are valid emotions where we can manage when we are aware of it.
Oh, that's brilliant. And I wish I had known that in my 20s. When I look back, I cringe. Like I had zero, I mean, negative a million, in the self-awareness scale. And
Yeah,
right, like I
me
just
too.
cringe. I just cringe. And so yeah, just making a lot of mistakes also helps. And mentors, I guess. So can you share about a meaningful connection that you made that really helped you and inspired you?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely lots of meaningful connections that created, right, throughout my professional lives. So maybe I can just focus on the professional life rather than personal life. Yeah. So so for example, a lot of people asking me, how do you get the job at LinkedIn? Right. So basically, I have someone on LinkedIn referred me, like my connections. So definitely, this is something that uh, it's showing that the platform works.
Oh
Like that.
yeah, yeah, it does. I mean, I'm in love with LinkedIn. I love it. I
Yeah,
understand.
me
It's
too.
so effective. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, basically connections who I haven't met in person, right? So he DM me and then the rest is history, right? So I got this job, my dream job per se, right? So that's the one of the meaningful connection on social platform.
Mm.
Right? And then the second one is because um, I work a lot with HR professionals all over Asia, but focus on Indonesia right now. So through just meeting them because of the business uh, topic, right? I form connections with them because we shared common interest, which is HR, and created an HR community in Indonesia. So where hundreds of HR professionals join that community, and we have monthly or quarterly events, get together and sharing insights together, and they are become friends now, right? So from just a business acquaintance to friends. And this also helped my professional growth at the same time.
Oh, no, that's important to convene, to bring professionals in the same sector together, to encourage one another, to trade info, resources, contacts. Yeah, no, that's really amazing, Lanny. And you're so inspirational. You coach and mentor young people, and you affect social change. Um, how did you become this inspirational person? Like, who inspired you? And tell us more about the inspirational work you do, like why it's so important to you.
Yeah, I mean, you, Sylvia, inspire me, basically.
Well, you inspire me too, Lanny.
The amount of things, activities that you did is truly
Oh,
inspired by you. Maybe I could also share my role model when I was
yes,
younger,
yes.
not as a kid. You know, when I was a
You
kid, I was
still you still look 21, Lanny.
Oh, thank you. Always 21.
Oh, wait, forever 21.
Yeah, forever 21. Yeah, so so when I was a kid, I want to be a president.
Never too late.
Yeah, but yeah, I know it's a different game altogether, right? So, and then I joined LinkedIn 9 years ago. So I started to learn, all these technology giants, what they're doing, right? And one of my inspiring moment is when I read about Bill Gates, right? So Bill Gates is actually my role model. But not until I read Melinda Gates' book.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it was so inspiring, making me want to do more on the social impact front. Yeah, so it's just mind blowing, like how they are dedicated their lives to help others.
Yes.
Yeah, so that
Oh,
is ultimate inspire role model.
wonderful. And what's your the cause that you're passionate about? Which area do you want to impact um, in the future or now? What's your dream?
Yeah, funny you said that because I've been thinking for the last 2 years that because again, I'm passionate about helping others to be the best version of themselves. So when I think about how can I help and what is the cause that I'm most passionate about, it's no brainer is education.
Ah,
So yeah, I believe that everyone in the world should have equal education access so they can have equal opportunity throughout. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. I love that. I love that. So, how about how did you overcome a major challenge in your life? And
Mm,
what can we learn from it? What advice do you have for those of us who are going through challenges who
mm.
are watching us today?
Yeah, challenges are hard, I would say. I think life itself, right? It's full of up and downs. So what I've learned recently, so actually I had a major life challenging event last year.
Oh, sorry.
So just recently, yeah. So no, it's fun. I think it's a good thing if I look back. Yeah. So it happened when that means last year, right? After COVID uh, over in a way, I decided to change my career trajectory. So I said like, okay, maybe this is the time that want to manage a team, right? Because I'm passionate about helping people to be the best version of themselves. I've been mentoring more than hundreds of students, and I love it. And when I see or hear their success stories, it's give me fulfillment.
Oh,
So when I thought that, oh, maybe it's a good time for me to be a manager. Yeah, but it didn't happen, right? So I was really devastated. Yeah, you can imagine, like, I don't know, I felt really down and it feels like, oh, I wasn't good enough, so this imposter syndrome coming
mhm,
back.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah, so we all have imposter
Yes,
syndrome.
I
They're
do. I do.
back,
I do. Yeah, yeah.
they really hit you, right? So it's actually making me rethink about my capabilities. And it took me more than 6 months to get over it,
Yeah.
right? But when I look back right now, I felt that is a silver lining, right? So if you don't achieve what you want to achieve, or if you don't get what you want, it's okay,
Absolutely.
right? It's 100% okay. You
Yeah.
can try next time. Yeah, so I think that is the aha moment for me because back then I was feeling really depressed and not valuing my worth. So that is the wrong thing to do.
Yeah. Been
Yes.
there, done that. All of
Sorry.
us have gone through that, and it's perfectionism is part of it, isn't it? And
Yeah.
but every closed door that I've had in my life, it turned out to be the right thing. You know, when I look back, and hindsight is 2020, isn't it? Like hindsight, it's we can see very clearly, more clearly than when we're in the moment.
Yes.
But yeah,
Yes.
I
Percent.
totally resonate with your experience. And so what helped you the most to get out of that feeling like self-pity, feeling like, oh, you know, why didn't I get this? And what helped you get out of that the most? What was it?
Mm. So I think it's setting my mindset, right?
Mm,
So I mean, for me, I'm a type of person that very optimistic, very positive, and high achiever.
yes,
So
you are.
yeah, so I think that's allow me to realize like you have to cut off all this bullshit, right? You need to
Mm,
on.
mm,
Yeah, so I was forcing myself to attend courses, and at the end I got my coaching certifications instead.
yes.
Yeah, this helps a lot. So I just realized that positioning your mindset is really important. Talk to someone else. Talk to coach, a mentor. They'll definitely can guide you out.
Mm,
So it helped me. You know, all these master coaches who I took the courses and attended their classes.
yeah. So what advice do you have for us on like what are the three most important things that we need to know to fulfill our fullest potential? And that's something I'm very interested in learning more about as well. So we have this common interest here, Lanny. Yeah, what are the three most important things that we all need to know or do to reach
Mm,
our fullest potential?
wow. Okay. So I think if you're asking about three things, I always set my mindset to be curious.
Mm,
So like when I mentioned before, you
mhm,
don't know what you don't know, right? So that's one, and allowing you to be around people that have the same goals with you. That's also important,
yes.
right? So we are a social animal in a sense, right? So it's okay not to be okay, and it's okay to ask for help.
Mm,
I think that's really important to know because sometimes you just felt alone
mm, mm.
in every journey. And I think the last one will be keep learning. Lifelong learning mindset. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, no, thank you for those. That is just an amazing reminder to me. And I always need reminding, Lanny, because I forget.
Me too. So that's why we have.
Yeah, no, so I feel pumped. Like I feel like, okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna go out and take on a goal that I have. Okay, lastly, you know, with the LinkedIn topics you write about, I want to just say each one briefly. And if you could give a motivational sentence or piece of advice for each topic, like for instance, job seeker tips. Boom. Lanny, what's your motivational advice for that?
Job seeker tips. Okay. Be mind. Sorry. I would say have a goal of what you want to achieve, what do you want to apply or work at. Find or do a lot of research and be proactive.
Excellent, excellent. Learning culture.
Okay. Creating learning culture are not easy. It's very hard. So accept, I mean, accept that uh, awareness and get help from the leaders, the C levels. It has to be the whole companies are invested in it. Then you will be successful.
Amazing. And lastly, employee experience. What do you want to say about that?
Wow. Employee experience is something that really I'm passionate about because I've equal share of being unhappy employees, right? So coming back to my things that I said earlier, like we employees and employer have the same goal. We are equal and we want to do well. So listening to your employees will help you greatly to achieve your business success and outcomes.
Wow. Thank you, Lanny. I think I'm going to have to watch this a few times because you just shared so much gold. The humility part, I mean, I'm your fan because that to me is an underrated quality that will lead to success. It reminds me of Ban Ki-moon, the former head of the UN, and everyone used to say how humble he was. Like he would really literally just like make himself so small among world leaders and the great people of the world. And they were really touched by that because he was so different. Like he went against the grain of the culture because it's just expected that we would do like self-promoting what we've done and where we went to school and talk about self-important things. But
Yeah.
that is just golden, Lanny, and you've just shared so much of coaching, skills, lessons, insights, and thank you so much. Thank you for caring for the next generation and really investing in them. That tells me you're such an amazing person that you would take the time out of your busy schedule to do that. So everyone, this is Lanny Wijaya. Connect with her on LinkedIn. She does coaching as well and specializes in the Indonesian market. It was a great pleasure to speak with you. I could go on for hours and hours and just literally just pull out different golden nuggets from your brain. Lanny, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you for having me, Sylvia. This is great. Thank you.
Thank you.